Big round of applause for the voice right there, for the man behind that voice.
Yeah.
The voice of power. I've known this man for decades and watched his work as he excelled to the higher echelon of executives that we have seen go through this music business. Because of him, he's been able to assist many of megastars in their path into their careers to success. I'm just going to name a few that this man has worked with. He's a multimedia marketing maverick. He helped launch the groundwork for to legitimize the legacies of a lot of luminaries as producers, musicians, and recording artists. James Mtume is one of them, who he kindly helped us book him to be on this show prior to his passing. His family member Damu Ntume was a good friend of mine, a brother to me. Melba Moore, to name a few. AG, Al B. Shore, DMX, Mary J. Blige, Dionne Warwick, Beanie Man, Beverly Johnson, Big Daddy Kane, Bishop Weeks, Bishop Womack, Brownstone, Buddy McGirt. You know Buddy from the boxing world, Tracy.
Of course.
Foxy Brown. Come on, it keeps going. Grace Jones, Genuine. The list goes on. And ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed to have this man share his story and his journey of his life in the book. Before I let you go, I want to welcome him to the show. The one and only Angelo Ellaby is here.
Mr. Ellaby.
What an introduction, man.
Angelo Ellaby. The introduction does not do you justice. I want to also include his influence, and he's been recognized with his inclusion in the Out 100 most impactful LGBTQ plus people list. And this is his latest book. Congratulations to you, brother.
Man. Thank
Congratulations,
you very much. Thank you very much.
Whew.
You know, I got to first say, I got to give honor to God first, because He is ahead of my life, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I want to say to you guys, I really appreciate this. I've been doing this now for 55 years.
Wow.
And
Wait, hold on, man. He said 55 years. Yo, come on, stand up.
Wow.
Stand 55 years.
Yeah.
Come on. 55 years.
And I always tell people who are waiting on their time, wait on it.
Yeah.
Wait on it. Don't give up. Stay in the race. It takes the same energy to stay in the race and to come out of the race. Which one we want to do? We want to stay in the race, right? We want to stay in the race because we get the opportunity to win staying in the race. This year has been overwhelming for me. And I'm so very thankful to people like you and so many other people that I'm on. Finally, for me, as a talent, I'm looking at myself as a talent at this stage of the game, and it's like a national attention, and you're getting awards, and I'm like, I do media, but it's just good to know that you can influence lives, you can lift people by books, by words, by having conversations, and I wanted to do this book, man, because I just think that this society and this world is at a loss. And I think it's really important that we collectively begin to give back. I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said many, many, many years ago, they were always calling this man racist. He wasn't racist. He was a collective. And he wanted us to come together to own our own, to have our own, right? Could you just imagine if we had our own farms and we had wouldn't we just be an incredible culture of people?
Absolutely.
They say it takes a village to raise a child. Can somebody tell me, what does it take to raise a culture? What does it take to raise a culture? I just think that it's time that we come together to understand the importance of togetherness. Our people must come together. We must stick together. We must be together. We got to stop doing this backstabbing. We got to be collective. I think when we're collective, we get a sense of understanding of the importance in which our contributions have been. And that's what this book is about for me, man. So many kids are going through what they're going through in their lives. I believe very much in chances. Everybody gets a chance. You can't shut the door because somebody got incarcerated when they was 15 years old. They deserved, the president Now I guess everything should be okay now, right?
First convicted felon.
Yeah, so I guess it should be okay for our brown and black brothers and
We
sisters.
should be able to put that on our
Say
job
that.
applications,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Uh.
So my thing at this stage of the game is just like homelessness, HIV and AIDS, cancer. All these things are people, and then domestic violence. People give up because they go through things.
Right.
Yeah.
But we got to give them chances. But we always sitting back trying to be judge and jury over someone's lives. I'm not about that. So I wanted to write a book that would inspire people, that would motivate people, and tell them the story of my life and what I had to go through. Wasn't easy. Still ain't easy.
Still not easy, right?
But I wanted to let them know that what you put in is what you get out.
Yeah. Angelo Ellaby is here, man, and I know Angelo from representing as in marketing and PR some of the biggest names in the music business, including Michael Jackson. But I hear you tell his story, and you have a lot of empathy. And I wonder, where did that develop? Because I know growing up, when I read this book, I hear about you growing up as a kid and even being bullied.
Yeah.
You know, a whole lot. But it was your mother who became Eva Leaks, right? Ellaby.
Yes.
Who became your foundation.
Yes, man.
Talk about your upbringing and what was it that she gave you that makes you so empathetic today?
You know, man, my mother was an incredible, incredible lady. She loved me unconditionally. And I remember her coming to my room each and every single morning from 5 to at least 15 years old. And she would say, "Good morning, my last born. Did I tell you that I love you?" And I was like, "No, Ma, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. You didn't tell me that you loved me. It's too early in the morning." But she empowered me with love. And then I had to sit down and talk to her. She said, "You don't have to sit down and talk to me about nothing. Because I'm going to tell her about my life. I'm going to tell her what, you know." She said, "I'm your mother. All I want you to do is to be great, greater, and then I want you to be the greatest at what you go to do." That doesn't bother me about where you're at in your life. I want you to be you. I want you to be original. I want you to be authentic. I want you to stand. I don't want you to follow nobody. I want you to stand up and be a leader. So my mother gave me just all the kind of strength and power and love and dedication. And she just stood by my side, man. You know, and it's really hard and very, very difficult growing up like in the 70s and the 80s because there was so much that one had to go through to get through. But my 4 sisters, my mother, my brother, they loved me unconditionally. And they accepted whoever and whatever I was. And that's how I went on with life. So as I went into coming into society or coming into the world, it didn't matter what nobody thought. It didn't matter, you know. So when we were going through the hip hop stages of not, this one wouldn't come to me because I was this, and this one come to me.
But it was because you were gay?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So in what year did you start seeing any kind of resistance because of that in the music business?
Oh my God! It was in the early 70s. It was in the early 70s, and you know the thing that I learned and that I love today about this man, James Mtume. He gave me so much, man. He was like my dad. You know, he taught me what this music industry was about. He would lecture me. He would sit me in the yellow room in his house and lecture me about the who, the whats, the whens, the wheres, and the whys. And we talked about my sexuality.
What did he say?
I don't give a damn.
Okay.
Yes.
He said, "I don't give a damn. That's what you do, bro. That's what you do, bro. That's what." The thing for me, and especially with Mtume, it was really about him wanting you to learn. He wanted you to learn. He wanted you to be a part of a culture. He wanted you to be committed to whatever you said you were going to do. I'm doing music now because of Mtume. Not because my degree is in fashion design. You know, Mtume taught me the music industry. He paid for the house. He paid for the cars because he taught me how to make money, how to earn money. I've never had a job outside of what I do. I've never had to sell real estate. I never had to. I do what I do still to this day because he took time. And that's what I'm trying to do is take time and teach young people and old people alike how to win, how to stay in the race and how to win. But man, my life has been very, very challenged with the fact of me being gay.
And being a black male.
And being on 7th Avenue, you know.
Yeah.
I was on 7th Avenue when there was no black people on 7th Avenue.
Yeah.
And
When was that?
It was no black-owned business on 7th Avenue. And I was on 7th Avenue for 27 years at 846 7th Avenue and 54th and 55th Street. It was very difficult because how I had to get there, I know I couldn't walk up there and rent no office up there. So I called this Italian guy who was a lawyer, had him go up there to look at the suite, which was a floor. He booked it. I gave him the money for the lease for 7 months. When the white man came to my office to see Angelo, my name is Angelo Antonio Ellerby. So he thought that I was Italian. So when he got up there and came to the office and opened up the door, he said, "I think I'm in the wrong place." I said, "No." He said his name was John LeRae. And he says, "No, I'm looking for Angelo Antonio." And I go, "In living color." And and the reality, the reality to it all, I paid for 7 months.
Yeah.
And then I turned around and paid for 2 years. So they couldn't get rid of me. And I wound up staying like 27 years.
Wow, man. Angelo Ellerby is here promoting this new book, and it's a great book for you to read before I let go. Life Lessons from an Industry Guru who's worked. The names I've mentioned, I only mentioned a fragment of names, but I did say Michael Jackson and Dionne Warwick. That should be enough for you. But if you need more, I can add Mary J. Blige and DMX on that too. That should be enough. But if you need more, I can keep adding names, right? How would you describe your entry into the music business? You were a what?
I was a publicist.
Publicity as an occupation has morphed into a whole different thing, especially in a digital age, what it is, what it could be.
It's true.
But what are the fundamentals? How would you describe that job? What is a publicist job?
I'm going to tell you what it should be.
Okay.
Because in this day and time, these young kids are not doing it the way it should be. So what they do is they're dealing in a very rudimentary side of it all. When you got to think great and be great. You understand that you are hindered already by being black. And it's very difficult for a black publicist to be recognized in a mainstream arena. So it's very difficult. And then our black stars are not supporting our black publicists. But their job is to oversee, supervise, and or manage the day-to-day visibility of their artists. But my whole thing has always been not just getting publicity. I remember many years ago in working with Mary,
Mary J. Blige, y'all. Go ahead.
MJB.
He just dropped the M-bomb, Mary.
I didn't read bios, man, and I don't listen to music. So I want to talk to the mothers and fathers, because that's where you get the real bio at. And I want to spend time with you. I want to know who you are. I'm not just going to do publicity because you're a part of my life. I want to know everything about you, and I want to work with you. I don't just want to get a check. These kids today are just getting checks, and then they want to put you on social media. They think that's press. No, we got to go after things like TV and movie and films. And if you're not going to do it, see, the thing that really works my last nerve is they want the money, but they don't want to do the job. You have to be thorough in doing your job. It's the same thing with management. I think that management, there's a courtship, then there's an engagement, and then there's marriage. You have to give yourself time to know who you're bringing into your camp. Who are you bringing into your camp?
What kind of time?
I say give yourself 6, 7 months. Give yourself as long as you need in order to feel comfortable. And that's what is happening in this day and time. Young people today are more ambitious than they are ambitious. Do you understand?
Wait, run that back.
They are just everywhere on the map.
But say what you just said.
They're more ambitious than they are ambitious. You know,
That's
everybody
deeper.
is all over. Everybody is all over the map, but nobody's doing anything.
Wow,
You know
but
what
no
I'm
one's
saying?
going anywhere.
And nobody's going anywhere. But then they want to become accusatory, and they didn't want to blame. No, you got to do you. You know, man, I do things like, and things that I started out doing was for Mtume. What I really didn't even know what publicity is cold calls. I remember when he was doing his first movie, The Native Son. He didn't have a publicist. I became the publicist. That's how I started. Gave me $100. He said, go buy 100 newspapers. Pull out the bylines. Back then, there was no computers.
exactly.
So you had to pick up the phone and call. And I remember calling the New York Times. Bowling crazy. Lady picked up the phone. She coughing. And you know, I knew she didn't want to really talk to me, but I got her name. I got her address. She coughing. Got into the car. Went down to the gift shop, to the drugstore, got 40 packs of cough drops. Went next door, got a gift box with a bow on it. Went down the street to Federal Express, overnighted it. 4 days later, 2 pages in the New York Times for on Mtume. So you have to think outside of the box. You can't just do what is the norm. You got to, I mean, if you really have strategies, have strategies. And you got to work for those people. Don't just try to give them a report saying, I called all these people. But there's nothing that came
There's
from it.
no evidence of it.
Yeah, and,
right.
then you want the money. Then you still
Right.
want to get paid. I just believe that if you have to invest in yourself. And I think that what has happened with me, and so because I've had more employees in the Empire State Building that have steps.
Yeah.
I really earnestly believe that it's important that you learn the trade, and you got to get personal, from management to business management to PR people. You can't just bring people on because it's your boy.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. In the book, before I let you go, this is Angelo Ellaby. The book is available right now. Let me correct myself. Antonio Ellaby is in the building.
Don't forget the Antonio.
And when you talk about Mary, if you go through this book, and you're very modest about the people that you've worked with. Like, I don't think there's anybody in the business today that has a client list that can match yours. You know, and what you've done for them, even beyond PR. You say in this book, helping Mary J. Blige find her style, right, had nothing to do with changing her clothes or connecting her with high-end fashion designers so that she could wear expensive outfits. It was also about discovering that she was a young woman who now had a public and an audience who were listening to her every word. She needed something meaningful to say and the skills to say it, real and raw, but ready for TV, not tabloids. What kind of direction? Can you recall a moment with Mary J. Blige and that you was able to offer her something and give her some direction?
Sure, I can, man. I remember my first day meeting her. I think it was Jackie Reinhardt who had called me up and asked me to tell me about this young creative artist, Mary J. Blige. So I had a 24-week artist development program that they call the Charm School for Rappers. So she came up, and she was an hour late. She got off the elevator, because when you get off the elevator, you're in my office. And I'm standing there. And she goes, yo, is Angelo here? You talking about Mr. Ellaby? Whoever.
Oh my.
Oh, no. I'm not a whoever. This is what we're going to do. You're an hour late. We're gonna do this tomorrow. Let's start this tomorrow. I'm going to have my lunch. Got on the elevator. Next day, she was there 2 hours early.
Yeah. Okay.
2 hours early. I believe how you start is how you finish. And then it was a relationship. We got into reading books. We got into writing. I showed her videos, all of her interviews. And today, I mean, this girl hated doing interviews. Hated interviews. Today, I mean, we're talking about what are we talking about? An Oscar-nominated actress?
Yeah.
So what I do is not instant coffee. It's brewed coffee. It takes time.
It takes time. I like that. And you are part of her success DNA. Give them a big round of applause. I want to ask you another question. because I want people to understand the gravity of your work.
Thank you, man.
And the people who have worked with you. And I've seen it firsthand with DMX, right? And I've always seen you dapper and debonair and the way you walk throughout your work. But I want to ask you about the 90s when Michael Jackson was start facing a lot of complications and a lot of these allegations that were going on against him. You were hired, right?
Yes.
You were called.
Yeah.
Who called you to help fix the image?
It was Bob Jones, which was his senior VP of publicity.
Uh-huh.
And
He had a lot of allegations, right?
oh, he had a whole lot of allegations. Yeah. And my whole thing is, man, the truth is never on strike.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me the truth. Don't tell me a lie. Don't give me a press release. Tell me what it is. Because if you tell me what it is, maybe I can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't tell me what it is and you're gonna lie to me, don't waste your time and don't waste my time.
Did you talk to Michael direct?
Oh, I did.
How'd that conversation go?
Do you know what, man? I'm laughing at this because he called the office.
Uh-huh.
And I answered the phone. And I thought somebody was joking around. So I hung up on him.
Wow.
And he called back. This time Bob called back. Said, Angelo, Michael just called your office. But that voice was not a squeaky voice. That was a hard voice. You know, it was like, it's Mr. Ellaby. And I'm like, anyway, the nicest man, open and very honest. I said, this is what we need to do. I believe in going back to the scene of the accident. And so since it's children related, we need to come up with something that's children related. Let's create something called the Children's Choice Awards. And there was a plethora of entertainers that we had selected to give some awards to. But Michael was going to be the center, and we were filling this rotunda full of kids. And we did it at Cindy Center right across the street from my office. He was very honest and very open.
Yeah.
And give away the privacy of the conversation. I am going to say this, that he was very private and very open, very thankful. After we got the kids inside of the auditorium, it was like the parting of the seas. He dealt with what he needed to dealt with. He apologized, generally open to just apologize for whatever it was. And that's all we have to do. And I think when you apologize and you confront your situation, you're good. When you don't confront it and you lie and you go and mix up the truth, because again, the truth is not on strike. And I think that's what's going on now. And I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what's going on now in hip hop. The truth is on strike. The truth is on strike in hip hop. And people need to be set free with the truth.
Angelo Ellaby is here, man. Give this guy a big round of applause.
Wow.
I want to talk DMX. Who was the first? Was he the first mega hip hop star to really accept your work, bring you in, or?
So
many. You don't know, right?
Which,
okay.
What would you call Shabba Ranks? That was
he's in the culture. He was Shabba Ranks. Yeah. Shabba.
I mean, it was so many, man. But
yeah.
I really want to talk about X.
Okay.
Because I think people have this man so wrong.
How so?
Had a heart of gold.
Okay.
He had a heart of gold, man. I listen. I was with him for like 6 or 7 years. I started off as his publicist. I became his manager. All he ever kept saying to me at the end of the month and the beginning of the month, Angelo, did you pay my tithes? Wow. Tithing is where you go to church. And he cared more about making sure that his soul was saved by giving back. And he gave so much back to the community, man. He had a heart of gold. I think people just took advantage of his heart. They took advantage of where he was at in his life and all of what he was going through. He loved children. He loved the children. He did everything in the world for children. We used to do something every year up at the Mary Ellen Center, his grandmother's center up in Yonkers, where he would feed kids and buy them clothes. And I remember one time we went to MTV did something where we went to where he was born and raised. It was some kind of village, and Mount Vernon, where it was like 300, 400 houses, toys. I mean, it's not just the toys or the gift back. He would sit and talk to those kids. You know, man, listen, I can't be judge and jury over someone.
But when you see somebody suffering, like we know he had, challenges with vices, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
you were there during those challenges. How did
They were challenges.
Yeah, how did you cope with that?
Well,
What did you try to tell them?
You know, this is what I said. I would say to him every time he got like really crazy. Earl, did you pray today, Earl? He said, Ansel, no, I didn't pray. I said, man, maybe we need to pray. And that will calm him down. You know, I mean, I'm from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
My family has had that kind of addiction in it. So I really know from brothers to sisters or cousins, you know how you have to deal with it. And I dealt with it accordingly. He would come and he would go. And when he goes, you know that he was going to go. And that's where you left it at. He had some incredible people around him. Ray Copeland, who was his manager before me, his uncle, was wonderful. He taught me the techniques of how to deal with him. But I just want the world to know, wow, that he was not what the world thought he was.
Yeah.
He was a great guy, and he had a good heart.
Angelo Antonio Ellerbe is here. Music mogul, executive, PR, fashion.
Yes.
Tracy, before you jump in, I just thought about you. You've been here 55 years. We had Dapper Dan on the show.
Really?
Dapper
Absolutely.
Dan, man, what an amazing
I'm sure.
conversation that was.
I'm
But
sure.
it's not. You guys are like rare. You know what I mean? You guys are. There's not a lot of people been in the business as long as you, right? Black men. Right, been successful throughout the decades, still standing. What was your relationship like?
You know what? I think I met him through June Ambrose.
June Ambrose, salute to June
Stylist
Ambrose.
to the
Yes,
stars.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't really have that kind of relationship. I think I met him a couple years ago through June, but not a sit down and good conversation.
Yeah.
What I'm finding myself doing more now with a lot of the elders that are still doing what they're doing is having conversations and trying to do documentaries and trying to have conversations so that we can share it back to young people. I think that we have been robbed from our history, particularly as we speak about fashion, we speak about music, we speak about all these things. No one knows our history. And so I'm trying to come together with all of those great leaders in fashion, in the performing arts, and try to do somewhat like a documentary, man.
I would love to see that happen. Tracy, jump in before I
Yeah,
hog it.
you're so freaking marvelous, bro. I really appreciate you, Mr. Ellerbe. And I have like a particular interest in your history because, like you, I come from a fashion background. I went to FIT for a semester, and when I realized I was gonna have to switch it up, I remember going to Google and putting some key skill sets. I had put persuasion, I had put music, culture, writing, and that's how I found out about public relations. And so much of my college education was centered around that. Eventually, I ended up in journalism. So I have so many different questions for you. I want to get your personal critique of social media as the main source of publicity for a lot of the young artists today. You had touched on it a bit earlier, and I know in a lot of ways we're in an attention economy, and so you see a lot of antics happening on social media. We always have heard the adage, any publicity is good publicity. What is your take on social media? How are we using it right and wrong to amplify or to diminish the voices of the culture?
I don't look at social media as a part of journalism at all. It's just what it is, social media. I'm a researcher. I'm original in my... So first, if we have a strategy about our clients, that's what we're going after. I am not going in after posting things on social media. What is my strategy? So he's a chemist. So do I need to go and find out all the leading publications for a chemist? I need to do that. What podcast do I need to try to connect with? I'm a publicist. I am not someone that's going to go doing a bunch of posting. I'm a real publicist.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I do for a living. I'm not going to sit up and take your your media clips and post it. That's not publicity. Has nothing to do with journalism. It's a post, you know? And so Andy Warhol said that everybody was a star for what, 15 minutes?
Yes.
And so what happens after the 15 minutes? Yeah? So the reality for me is that I never looked at social media as a part of what would be media at all.
So something like the Shade Room wouldn't be a part of the publicity rollout for an artist that you represent?
It would be a part of the marketing strategy for my rollout, yes.
Okay.
It would not be a part of my publicity, but it would be a part of my marketing, absolutely.
You got to explain the difference then to folks, because I don't think folks understand the difference between marketing and publicity.
Okay, so we have publicity, which is electronic press, is print press, electronic press being TV, being radio, right? When you start talking about social media, what are you talking about? You're talking about posting on Instagram and all the other outlets. It's a distinct difference.
Yes.
It's really clear. It's very distinct. I don't even like posting totally at all, Carlito. I don't like posting at all.
Whose phone is that?
Yes,
Who's calling? Who's calling?
Mr. Ellerby's.
Carlito.
Busy man.
We got to polish. You got to answer the phone if it rings on air, live on air.
Yeah.
You didn't want me to do that with. Trust me, you didn't. Trust me, that was my sister telling me, what are you talking about? No, but so, and that's what I think the mix-up is.
Okay.
With young people. You have to make a selection. You made your selection. Journalists, right? Right. But young people today are ambitious. They don't know what PR is. They don't know what it is.
They don't see the value.
They don't see the value in it. They don't know what it is, but they're going to do it. They're going to do it because it's going to make some money for them.
What is the value in PR right now when everyone can have a microphone, create their own platforms? Artists are also content creators now. In a way, it can kind of feel that the publicist gets X'd out of the equation. If you're thinking about someone's budget, they might focus more on their manager and their social media manager. What is the place of the publicist today?
It should be third in command. That's what it should be. A lot of people do not accept and willing to accept the placement of a publicist. I remember just a couple of weeks ago, it was some kind of outlet. It was a music program show where they said, we can't thank the publicist. So yeah, like the publicist is the least. Yeah, really, seriously, it was a star who said we were told not to thank the PR people. So we're almost like the last people on the totem pole, while we were some of the most important people on the totem pole.
Right.
But it also depends on the color of your skin in terms of being a publicist. It does. It really, really does. And I would really have a stronger appreciation for our Black talent to support Black PR people in abundance. But we don't do it. But we don't do it. We believe white is right, Black get back. And everybody screws up. So you don't want to hire me because I'm Black or because I'm gay or whatever the hell it is? Well, they white, they gay, and they mess up too. So give us all a chance, is what I'm saying. But that's not the case.
You usually see folks start off with a Black publicist, right? And then as their star rises and they become mainstream, the next time we see them in this studio, they got a whole new publicist, right? And it ain't the one that they started with.
Exactly.
Even if they're positioned as like a Black icon.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The only one that I see that favors and stuck with her publicist was Beyonce. I don't know. Beyonce. Yvette Show, yeah.
Yeah, B.
Ready, B?
I mean, it's like, but that's what I respect, though.
Yeah.
She started with her, and she's still with her. And she helped her to build her company. And that's what's important.
Who's her publicist?
Yvette Noel Shore.
That's right, Yvette. Wow, round of applause.
Yeah.
I like that because people looking at this do not realize we've been talking Kelly Jackson and I talk about this all the time. We see the artists come in here, they got a black publicist. That publicist is working their ass off probably for next to nothing. And then the artists start growing and then they get these big deals. They get these sponsorships, these partnerships, and they get rid of the black publicist.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Next time they come in, they got a new one.
Meanwhile, their homeboy that started out as their manager is still in the management seat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you might want to consider that. That's just a message to artists.
Yeah.
You were one of the first people. You were included in the Out 100 Most Impactful LGBTQ plus people list, and you were one of the first people who didn't hide your sexuality.
No.
You know what I mean? And you will always fly out there. It didn't matter, right? I never even considered it, right? But that ain't always the case with our community.
No, it's not.
Talk about that.
I love me some me.
Yeah.
I'm romantically in love with Angelo.
Okay, there you go. All right.
I think when you
Like
love
that.
you, when you love you, you can love somebody else, man. And I'm not ashamed of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
If my mother accept me and my sisters accept me, why do I give a damn about you accepting me? It doesn't matter to me. Keep your eyes out of my bedroom and put it in the boardroom, and you will find out how effective I am after 55 years. I don't care about what you think about my sexuality. I do care about what you think about my ability to be effective as a publicist or as a strategist or as a manager or as whatever it is that I go to do. So clearly for me, it's bothersome because I was strong. There's so many young kids out here that are not strong, man. That fall by the prey. They fall by the wayside because they're confused. And mothers and fathers and people and in the industry. I remember someone saying to me at Sony, I was sitting in a meeting for Mtume.
Sony Music. Yeah.
Sony Music, the guy said to me, he said, "Oh, you speak so well." And I go, I was going to tell you the same thing. But the bottom line was, they did not want me there. And they used to tell Mtume. And they would say to Mtume, is he? And Toombs would say, well, well, you know what he would say.
Yeah.
And so we talked about that, man. We talked about that because I find that is something that is really hurting so many people that want to go and grow in my community. They're afraid to be who they are. And I say you got to be original. You got to step on your own ground. I think it's accepting who you are.
Yeah.
And I think when you accept who you are, you're just better for it all.
What's the message to the community, though? Those who aren't accepting of you, you know?
You know what, man? I really wish that I had an answer for that.
Okay.
I don't have an answer
That's
for
fair
it.
enough.
That's real.
I really don't have an answer for it.
I want to ask you this, man. I named all these Grace Jones, Dionne Warwick. I'm naming all of these huge names you work with, man. What do you consider a milestone moment in your career?
Right here, right now.
Say word.
Seriously.
Wow.
This interview has meant so much to me. You know why? Because I followed your career.
Yeah.
I saw your struggle. So what you had to go through. Black, white, all the other things that you had to do. And yet you still stand. That's why.
Wow, man. Angelo Antonio Ellaby, man.
What? You didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that. This guy's better than me.
Publicist, yo, give it up.
He's
for
been
the
doing it
publicist.
longer than me. I'm at my max right here.
Wow.
Who out of your clients, who do you have real friends? I mean, I know you're friends with them all, but who do you continue to speak with?
I continue to speak each and every single morning to Dionne Warwick.
Can you send my love, bro?
You know what, man?
I was at the Kennedy Center when she
What,
the other
were
year.
you?
I was there.
Really?
Yeah, when she got the Kennedy Center award. Please send my love.
I absolutely, I'm going to make sure I send you a bunch of her stuff. 'Cause
Okay.
She got some marketing stuff that she's doing. I talked to Cool, like,
Cool and the gang. Cool provided us with his alcohol for our year-end party. He sponsored our year-end party.
Okay, all right.
Champagne.
Yeah.
Who else, man? Who else?
I don't know. It's I just talked to them all, man.
Melba Moore?
I talked to Melba a
Melba,
lot.
come on up, Melba.
Well, we can make
Man,
that
Mel,
happen.
but please come up. I want to see your smile in this room.
But you know, Sway, there's a lot of authors, there's a lot of lecture people that lecture. It's not all about, for me, the artist anymore.
Right.
It's really about trying to just help people get, so many people live in a vacuum where they believe that they're not important anymore. And what I try to do is I really try to nudge them. I try to inspire them. I try to say, you have no expiration date on your life. Why are you giving up? Somebody asked me when I was going to retire. I said, I'm still getting checks. I ain't retired.
I know that's
Well,
right.
what am I retiring from? So, the thing is, man, I just want to see people helping people to help people. That's at the end of the day, man.
Angelo Antonio Ellaby. The book is called Before I Let You Go. Life Lessons from an Industry Guru. Amazon #1 bestseller.
Before you go, Mr. Ellaby, are PR couples a real thing?
What?
PR couples where two people are in a relationship so they can take advantage of the collective attention they're going to garner because their publicist had a coffee date and said, yeah.
Oh, when they put together a put together couple.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to put this star with this star and make a super couple.
Uh-huh.
Let's not hope that happens, right? Relationship is relationship. You can't put relationship together because it's supposed to fit. It's like two bookends.
No?
Don't fit. Let it nurture. Let it come together.
Yeah, but a lot of people, what they do,
I know.
They'll put Tracy and Torch together because Tracy got a big following, he got a big following. Let's put them together.
And their movie's about to come out at the same time.
Yeah, but and guess what? Guess what? The movie comes out. The movie don't happen. Now he hates you. She hates you, and what happens?
Okay.
It ain't real.
Fair enough.
Be real.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Anything you want to say in closing?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, man. You don't understand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to all the people that have been supporting me in Double Exposure for the past 55 years. It's people like you who has given me an opportunity to talk about this book, to sell this book. And I want to let everyone know I make no money from this book. I'm giving all the money from this book to an organization in Newark called WOW. And what it does, it takes care of HIV and AIDS victims. So every dime from this book goes to that organization.
Love you, brother. Angelo Antonio Ellaby, thank you.
Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, man. And continued success. This is like we at halftime. We got 2 more quarters to go.
Wow.
Let's get it, man. Come on, you're looking good.
Yes,
Look at
he
you, man. I
is.
see your shade game. He brought that jacket, Tracy. Hold the jacket
stunner.
up, Tracy.
It's a
Hold
stunner.
the jacket up. We want to thank y'all for tuning in today, man. We want to thank all of you for tuning in today.